Good evening and welcome to the City of Port Hueneme closed session. Today is Tuesday, September the 2nd. I'm calling the meeting to order at 5:30. Can we get roll call, please, Madam Clerk?
Councilmember Gama,
Here.
Councilmember Hernandez.
Here.
Councilmember Perez,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Lopez,
Here.
and Mayor McQueen LaShawn.
Here. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comments?
No public comments for closed session.
Thank you. We will now have our city attorney read the closed session items on the record.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and council members. We have one closed session item this evening. It is labor negotiations, and it's pursuant to Government Code 54957.6. The agency's designated representatives are Mr. Vega and Mr. Lee, your Human Resources Manager. The Employee Association is the SEIU, Service Employees International Union 721. To the extent there's reportable action, we will report it at the commencement of the regular session.
Great, thank you. Do we have any members of the council that have a conflict of interest for the listed item? If not, we'll recess to close session. The time is now 5:31. Welcome to the City Council regular meeting. I'm calling this meeting to order. The time is now 6:30. Please stand for the flag salute.
If I could have everybody put your right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Madam Clerk, can we get a roll call, please?
Councilmember Gama,
Here.
Councilmember Hernandez. Here. Councilmember Perez,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Lopez,
Here.
and Mayor McQueen LaJean.
Here. So we're going to move to our inspiration, which will be given to us tonight by Councilmember Perez.
Thank you, and I did remember this time. So I just have a brief words of inspiration, a reminder to all leaders. Leadership is not about titles or positions, it's about service. Each of us has the privilege and responsibility to help shape the future of our community. When we listen with respect, speak with truth, and act with integrity, we create a foundation of trust that lifts everyone. Let's carry that spirit in today's meeting and remember that together we can achieve more than any one of us alone.
All right, thank you, thank you. Mr. City Attorney, can we please get a closed session report?
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and council members. We had one closed session item this evening. It was labor negotiations pursuant to Government Code 54957.6. The designated agency representative was Mr. Vega and Mr. Lee. The employee association was the SEIU Service Employees International Union 721. At this point, there is no reportable action with respect to that item.
Great, thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comments not related to our agenda items?
Yes, our first one is from Becky Bruning, and followed by Mr. Greg Ross.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, Council, staff, and audience. Tonight, I'm here as a concerned citizen. Last week, I had a very good friend of mine drop paperwork off at my house and asked me to read it. And the more I read it, the more I got pissed off. Not because of what you did, Councilmember Hernandez, or what you said, but because you sat there on that dais and lied to the city of Port Hueneme about doing nothing wrong. Now, I think the rest of the council members should strip you of all of your committees and not let you vote on police actions. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Mr. Greg Ross.
Good evening, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, esteemed council members. Been here before, longtime resident of Ventura County. I've owned 9 homes in 6 different communities. And I want to say up front that I'm trying not to glad hand here, but this is my favorite community ever because it's a community that responds to issues, and I thank you for that. The police chief and his group, starting with Zach and Gladys, who's been to our community, they do yeoman's work, just amazing. And we're so appreciative for everything they do for us. The homeless situation has gotten better, and Gladys is now a hero. So we really like this. Today I want to talk about the port, just very briefly. I gave you a little handout with looks like this. I want to start with saying this city, this port is closer to high-density residential than any other port on the entire West Coast, number one. Number two, the prevailing winds go from Carpinteria to Malibu 90% or more of the time. Okay, that's important to remember. The 16 or 17 days ago, there was a car fire, a vehicle carrier on I-5 in Sylmar. And that's that picture that I did for you. Turns out that there's only one way to treat a lithium-ion battery fire. Only one. Not water, not foam. Let it burn. And that's on this website that I just pulled off this afternoon. Let it burn. That's what they say. So right now, according to Christian Dekas, the CEO of the port, about 20 to 23% of all the vehicles that come into this port and dropped off are electric. In addition to that, they have much plans to become a green port, and so they're going to, the port has an intention to bring on electric vehicles to help them with their work. So what happens if we get an electric fire, a lithium battery ion fire? Well, they don't have a plan. They need a plan. There should be an Amber Alert system for that, because the metals that go up in the air are toxic, really toxic. Lead, and so on and so forth. So I'm asking you to work with them, become proactive, and make something happen so that we can be advised if there's a problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then we just have 3 written comments that I'll go ahead and read. The first one is from Thomas Morris. I am a man of few words, so I will be brief. I have lived in Port Hueneme going on 25 years now, and a majority of those years have included a friendship with Mike Federico. I met him through my daughter Robin. She was a close neighbor of Mike's, and he came to her rescue after my daughter blew all the fuses in her rented home in East Ventura. I again met Mike when he and his daughter Cameo would come to the local Italian restaurant, Angelo's, which we affectionately called Mama's. Mike would help in the kitchen and eventually took over the restaurant and named it Rico's. I knew Mike worked in Santa Monica as police officer. I was elated when I was informed he was considered for the police chief position in our city. Michael is a standout as a person. I have never heard him say a derogatory word about anyone, nor directly to anyone. He is a wonderful father, raising a challenged daughter with the love that Cameo has learned to return to all that she meets. He is a patriot, loving not only our country, but our city as well. We need him, and I pray he will be part of our community for a long time. Thomas Morris. Jeffrey Scarberry. I just wanted to make a brief comment to express my appreciation for the introductory inspirational message at the beginning of the last meeting on August 18th. The theme of the inspiration, among other things, focused on the importance of public participation in our government and the fact that in our friendly city by the sea of Port Hueneme, every voice matters. We are very lucky to live in a place where these fundamental principles are valued and not taken for granted. Thanks to all our council members for that. And the next one is by Roberto Martinez. Good evening, Mayor McQueen, Mayor Pro Tem Lopez, council members, city staff, and members of the public. I'd like to share a brief comment regarding mobile vendors in our city, particularly those we see at the beach. Many of these vendors do come from outside the county, but I also want to highlight that some are local. The local vendors I've spoken with genuinely want to follow the rules. They are seeking to obtain the proper permits and to be compliant with both city and county requirements. As you continue discussing how to address mobile vending, I hope consideration can be given to those local vendors who want to do things the right way and contribute positively to our community. I hope there is a system in place for these businesses to operate in our city, as they are popular among residents and visitors. Thank you. P.S. Keep it up, City Council. That concludes public comments for general items.
Great, thank you. We're going to now move on to the agenda approval. Can I get a motion and a second?
Move to approve.
Second?
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Okay, great, thank you. Do any members of the council have any conflicts of interest to disclose in any of the items on the agenda? If not, we're going to move on to presentations. For our first presentation, I'd like to call up President Jess Ramirez of the Port of Hueneme, Oxnard Harbor District. While he's making his way up, our Mayor Pro Tem is going to read a proclamation.
So I'm going to be reading the proclamation for the Banana Festival, whereas the 12th Annual Banana Festival will be held at the Port of Hueneme on September 27th, 2025. And whereas the Banana Festival was created by Commissioner Jess J. Ramirez and CEO, Port Director Christian Dekas to highlight the various contributions and positive impacts the port has made locally, regionally, and across the world. And whereas the port operations support the community by bringing $2.2 billion in economic activity and creating 20,032 trade-related jobs. And whereas trade through the Port of Hueneme generates more than $173 million in direct and related state and local taxes, which fund vital community services. And whereas the Port Authority began over 80 years ago with the mission to provide California's Central Coast agriculture community with an ocean link to the global market. And whereas the Banana Festival is a way to bring the people in a fun way to see and appreciate the port and learn more about its operations and its vital economic role in Ventura County. And whereas the city desires to join the celebration and support of the Banana Festival, now therefore be it proclaimed that the City Council of Port Hueneme does hereby encourage the community to go bananas at the Port of Hueneme Banana Festival and celebrate the diverse working port, proclaimed this second day of September 2025.
Great, thank you. Over to you. Have some words.
Absolutely, I got plenty. Thank you for the mayor, council members. Well, I didn't create it, I founded it, okay? I'm the godfather. But I'm also the godfather of Mariachi Festival downtown Oxnard 37 years ago. So I'm about festivals. Okay? Life's short, we gotta celebrate it every day you can get up. And the age of 81, if I can get up every morning, I say hallelujah for one more day to raise hell, okay? And that's what I do. But a lot of you don't know why Banana Festival, right? Do you guys know the history of why it got started? That's what I thought. Okay, so put down that clock, young lady. I need more than 5 minutes to tell the story. What happened is I sat on an electric battery for 37 years. All right, on an electric battery, this unloading bananas. So I'm still pretty healthy. Okay, so nothing has happened to me. Now, Del Monte Bananas came to our port in '83. They were kicked out of Los Angeles because it was a small company, and LA and Long Beach because they love to grow and make money and pollute the air like they always do. And people are dying on those highways that feed LA and Long Beach both. They came to us looking for a home. Okay, they were lost babies. Nobody wanted them. They had a choice either to go to San Diego or to come to Hueneme. They came to Hueneme in '83. I was working there as a casual. I had just come back from Vietnam. I was a longshoreman in Vietnam, so I was working there. So in '86, when the union opened their golden doors to get members in, and I was one of 50, I came with the 6 first women that came and became longshoremen in '86. So that union gave me the ability to send my 4 daughters to the universities. All my kids went to school. I got 2 from Berkeley, 1 from UCLA, a master's degree from University of Chicago, and Harvard. Thanks to bananas. That crazy little fruit that everybody loves made it possible for me to send my kids to school. So obviously, I love the port. I love the port. So I used to tell my first director, Tony Tamarina, about celebrating bananas. And he thought I was crazy. Then Bill Bunger came on. Bill, look at, Del Monte set the pace. After Del Monte came, then we got Wallenius, we got Chiquita. So we became a legitimate port and a home for other companies to come, but Del Monte had the guts and the foresight to come to Port Hueneme. So that made it for me in terms of my job and also in terms of sending my kids to school and living a good life. Now, for 20 years, I used to bother these other two directors. And then when we hired Kristen 13 years ago, I thought, Kristen, listen, for 20 years I've been wanting to celebrate bananas. I said, well, why come and shake bananas? And I told her the story, and she loved the story. She didn't think I was crazy. So that's why we have it. So what does the Banana Festival do for me? First of all, like the proclamation says, there's an appreciation for the port. Obviously, not everyone's going to appreciate it because, this is a city port. But most people that come here appreciate it coming here. Secondly, this festival brings in people from all over except from LA because we don't advertise. And we purposely don't advertise in LA because we don't want to have 40,000 people here. We just want to keep it nice and cozy and just for us so we can celebrate it. But it also brings a lot of people to our beautiful city. And hopefully those people come back and spend money, right? So it's a twofold thing. I did it for my own selfish reasons, but it also benefited everybody else. So that's the history in a short summary of how the Banana Festival started. And I had my banana this morning with my cereal. Thank you.
Good, thank you. Anyone have anything they'd like to add? I would just like to say, I so appreciate the efforts that you put in to found the Banana Festival. I go every year. I love it. It's a great time, and it's always great when there's events that our community can go out and enjoy for free.
Yeah.
So very,
exactly.
very
And you
good.
said
Thank
the
you so
magic
much.
word, free. We're one of the few festivals that are free. Thank you so much. And I hope you come and join us. I'm going to be in Texas. I'm coming back at midnight on Friday so I can be here for the Banana Festival on Saturday.
Great.
Yes, Mr. Gama.
Just want to say I start my days off with a banana.
All right.
Kind of helps the knee pain.
Number one fruit in the country.
You want to go on down? Yeah. Okay, we're going to provide you the proclamation. Adam, did you want to come in or take pictures or? Yeah. And whoever, Banana Festival, I see Mr. Latimer and his wife. We'll get a picture. You can come, the whole team. If you're here in the Banana Festival or the port, come on out. Yeah, you can come in. Adam?
1, 2, 3. I'm gonna grab a couple phones here. There, everybody wants one. 1, 2, 3. And I have just one more. Sorry. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Jess.
Thanks, Jeff.
Oh, your phone first. Wow, here it is.
Okay, we're going to move on to our next presentation. Will be given by Shane, and forgive me if I don't pronounce your name, Masurf, from the Program Administrator for Ventura County Health. You go ahead and start your presentation.
Thank you. I'm not sure how I'm supposed to follow that, but. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you today. My name is Shane Meserve. I'm the Program Administrator with Ventura County Public Health, and I work on the Opioid Overdose Prevention Program. To my left, I also have a couple of colleagues with me today. I have Dr. Odine Costel, who is our Ventura County Health Officer, and also have Brad Friday, who is the Coast Administrator with Ventura County Behavioral Health, and I will tell you about Coast in just a second. So the reason why we have an opioid overdose prevention program in Ventura County is that we have too many opioid overdoses that result in folks passing away. Here in Port Hueneme in 2024, you had 7 residents pass away from an opioid overdose. And in fact, that was 3 more than in 2023. So your numbers went up here in this city. As you can see from this chart, on the far left numbers, starting in 2019 in the county of Ventura, we lost 149 people to an opioid overdose. We peaked in the last few years in 2021 with 289 people. And then you can see those numbers are coming down since 2021, which is great, great news. Unfortunately, it's still a very high number, and our project and the Coast Initiative's goal is to bring that down as far as we possibly can. So that's why we're here, and that's why we're trying to educate the community on our project. So what we do at Public Health is we try to bring on new county agencies into the program in various ways. We try to educate as many people as possible and provide presentations. This presentation today is very short. I can do a longer version for anybody who might be interested. So we do a lot of presentations and educational opportunities. We go out into the community as well and participate in lots of public events, such as the Banana Festival. We actually haven't done the Banana Festival yet. But we do lots of health fairs and back to school nights and all kinds of different events with the public all over the county to educate them on this issue. We also provide technical assistance and support for agencies who decide to bring in naloxone into their business in order to be more educated themselves and potentially to pass it out to their customers. We participate in the County Opioid Awareness and Solutions Team, which is COAST, that I've referred to a couple of times. And then one of our main roles is to pass out naloxone. Naloxone is the medication name, and Narcan is the brand name. So you've probably heard of one or both of those. And so our goal is to get out as many of these kits as possible into the community. The COAST Initiative is a wonderful multidimensional group of folks from all different places. Behavioral health really is the beginning agency that started the COAST Initiative in 2014. Public health is now a much bigger part of that initiative as well. We work with the jail system here in the county. We work with law enforcement. We work with treatment centers. We work with nonprofits and community-based organizations. We work with treatment centers. We work with whoever will work with us, essentially, to bring education around this issue to the community. So it's a really wonderful resource. You can see the website there, coastventuracounty.org. There's all kinds of statistics and information and different groups of people that are involved in the initiative, trying to bring some targeted information there. So again, the COAST was begun in 2014, and the goal is to target as many folks as possible that are at a higher risk of overdose, as well as those that come in contact with them, their family members, professionals in the community that work with those populations, et cetera. Again, it's a multi-agency collaborative approach. One of the things we do a lot is talk about what is an opioid. Some people have heard of opioids. They think they're bad in general. We like to say that opioids are not bad in general. They are a very effective medication and very, very effective on pain. The downside to opioids is that they're also very addictive. It's very easy to get addicted to them. And so over the 25 years that the opioid crisis has been with us, again, just trying to educate people on what's good about opioids, what's challenging about opioids, and kind of you can see some of the other side effects having to do with opioids in our communities. The other big issue that we're working on is fentanyl. Bringing awareness to fentanyl being very, very present in the illicit drug trade. About 80% of illicit drugs that are found in our county have fentanyl in them. And they are 50 to 100 times more potent than morphine. So they're very, very, very potent. These days, the way that fentanyl gets into the community is through fake pills. So it's very easy, especially if you have a cell phone, to buy drugs from the internet. And very, very often you'll find fentanyl, again, about 80% of our illicit drug trade, there's fentanyl mixed into that population. mainly because it's very addictive and you'll come back and buy more if you are addicted to that. And naloxone is the good guy in this story. So naloxone is, it helps with an opioid overdose. It is only effective on opioid overdose. It is not effective on a methamphetamine, on other types of drugs. It will not help with that. But as I mentioned before, any illicit drugs that are bought in this county will typically have fentanyl in it, will have opioids in it. So that's why we give out as much naloxone as we can and encourage people to use it if they happen to come across someone they are worried is overdosing. It's very effective. However, it's short-lived. It's only good for about 30 to 90 minutes. So after that 90-minute mark, if you bring someone back with naloxone, they can still overdose because they still have all of that substance in their system. So that's why in our training process, we talk about giving a dose of naloxone, calling 911 to get that medical care that person might need, and then we go on from there and talk about what next steps might be. So again, naloxone does not hurt you if you don't have opioids in your system. I could put some in my nose right now and it would not harm me because I don't have any opioids in me. And so if you were to give it to someone who you think is overdosing, but they don't have any opioids, you're not gonna make it any worse, but you might make it better. So it's a really, really effective tool. And it also, young people are allowed to have naloxone, 12 and up in the state of California. They are allowed to have naloxone on their person, again, because it doesn't harm them if they do get it into their systems. So how can the city participate? We would love to have you invite us to events that you might be having, whether it's a health fair, whether it's back to school nights, whatever kinds of events you might be having. We would love to have a table and to educate your constituents and be able to give out naloxone to the community. We also have these wonderful wall dispensers that you see a photo of on the slide. This is, again, meant to be wall mounted. It holds 45 boxes of naloxone, so that's two doses apiece. And it's meant to be kind of in a public location where people can just take it and not have to ask and not have to explain themselves. They can just take it and have it on their person if they would like to have it. Many people have someone in their life who is a person who uses drugs. Many people live in neighborhoods where there are unhoused folks, and sometimes they want to just have it just in case something happens. And so we're very, very encouraging of that. So if you know of any spots that might be a good place for a dispenser, I hope you'll let us know because we would love to bring you one. And we restock them and as needed. Public health, we have about 42 of these boxes out and about in the community. I believe we have one at the library here in Port Hueneme. I think that's the only one we have in Port Hueneme currently. But we have 42 of them out around the county, and as of today, I believe we've given out over 4,600 boxes of naloxone this year. So it's a really wonderful tool to get this out into the community. We also have things like what we call an institutional kit, and that is if there is a public agency or a nonprofit or someplace that would like to have it on site, so that staff could respond to an emergency if one is occurring on site. We can train them to get, so they can have it for staff members. We also have fentanyl test strips, which is one of our harm reduction tools for people who use drugs to be able to test their stash to see if there's fentanyl present, and then they can make a more educated decision as to whether they're gonna use those drugs or not. And then we offer a lot of training, such as this short presentation that you're seeing tonight. So again, would love to offer that to anyone else who might be interested. And with that, I'll stop. I did bring enough for the council to each have a box. If you would like one, I'd be happy to leave it with you, but happy to answer any questions that you might have.
I do.
Councilmember Perez.
Could you go back to the first slide about the different overdoses?
Yes.
So the next one.
Yes.
How do you know, and this is just for public reference, how do you know the difference between a suicide overdose and an accidental overdose?
When the medical examiner decides on the cause of death from someone, they basically they can sort of tell by the substances that person has in their system. They can tell, law enforcement can tell kind of what's happening in the wherever that person was found. There might be a note associated with a suicide, things that the evidence basically leads to the cause of death, and they can decide that way if it was accidental or not.
And my next question is, a lot of addiction occurs accidentally when someone is prescribed a medication that they don't realize they're
Yep.
going to be addicted to. Do you partner with medical agencies, with patients to go over the potential addiction issues that they could-
Absolutely. Yes, we do. On the Coast website, you'll see a page called Prescribers Care. So we do a whole series of trainings and education specifically for people who prescribe this medication to help them do that more effectively. Yeah.
Great. Councilmember Gama?
Thank you for the presentation. I've always wondered, like, these people that receive fentanyl in bulk and then break it down and spread it through different drugs, like, how do they do that? And I don't understand the basic math of it. Because according to everything that we know, you're receiving a very volatile, potentially deadly package of fentanyl, and then people are breaking it down into very, very small amounts to addict people? Is that what the deal is?
Well, we sort of call it the chocolate chip cookie effect. So if you're making chocolate chip cookies, you make the dough first, and then at the very end, you mix in the chips, right? So your first chocolate chip cookie might have 10 chips in it, and the last one, because you've put too many to begin with, the last one might have 2 in it. So it kind of depends on how well they mix it into the initial dough as to how much fentanyl winds up in each individual pill. So the goal is that they want to get you addicted to that pill so that you'll come back and buy more from them. And so whether it's a fake, a Xanax or a Percocet or whatever it might be, they want to mix it in so that you'll come back and buy more.
And then how do they do that with marijuana? Because I've heard that there's been fentanyl found in marijuana.
So marijuana is not as much of an issue, and Brad probably knows this better than I do, but
Yeah.
Yes, please.
sure. Yeah, he knows this better than I do.
Yeah, and I would just say, as he's coming up over the last several years, I think we've all seen the efforts being undertaken by the medical community and government in reducing the supply out there, because if we go back 15, 20 years, I think we all could recall coming home with a stash of 90 Vicodin. Like, who needs 90 Vicodin, right? I mean, so.
Greetings, Council. I know this is going to be on record, so I just want to formally introduce myself, Brad Friday, Ventura County Behavioral Health. The question, Councilman Gama, am I saying your name right?
Yes, sir.
With fentanyl potentially being on marijuana or marijuana being contaminated with fentanyl, that it's theoretically true where it can occur, even if you have particular dealers who are dealing multiple types of illicit drugs, to include marijuana. Cross-contamination can occur on the passenger seat of that dealer's car. But as far as the intent of dosing marijuana with fentanyl, it's just not as prevalent. And the other thing that occurs is the temperature at which marijuana has to be burned if it's going to be smoked is at a much higher temperature, and it basically, for the most part, renders fentanyl not intoxicating, if that makes sense.
Interesting. Thank you.
No problem.
Any questions? Questions?
Thank you for the presentation. Just a couple quick questions. Is based on the statistics, our county, looking at these stats, how do we far from other counties? Are we above average or are we below average?
That's a great question, Councilman Lopez. So when you look at California Department of Public Health's website and the statistics that are represented for Ventura County from there, we're actually ranked a little bit above average, but in part because our documentation of fatal fentanyl overdose or opioid overdose is really specific. We're blessed to have a medical examiner instead of a sheriff coroner, where more work can be done on each individual overdose case, and we can get more specific with which medications were, based on a tox screen of that patient. When we compare ourselves to overdose rates, ambulance calls, and fatals that are in counties similar to our population size, we're actually doing pretty good. Generally, we're to the better of counties to the north of us, as well as to the east of us. So we're kind of, I want to say, like middle of the road, if not better. But as far as having a passionate and aggressive organization that's really working hard to limit and reduce fatal overdose for our county, you'll be hard pressed to find as involved a team at a county level to do this work.
So you're saying is we document this a lot better than other counties?
That's
is
correct.
what you're saying. Okay, so in Ventura County, what is the hot spot? Like what city is trending high?
And that's why I value that we're able to speak with you all. Right now, like Shane mentioned earlier, there were 7 fatal overdoses in Port Hueneme last year, which is 3 more than the year prior. So we would consider Port Hueneme as a city of potential concern, right? And that's why we're here, to promote the capability that we have to get more life-saving medication out into the community, as well as other harm reduction strategies. But this crisis isn't specific to one region in the county. I could pull up statistics from Thousand Oaks, and they're comparative to Simi Valley, Camarillo, especially when we start looking at emergency department visits that are substance use related and all that.
So all the 7 overdoses, were they all fentanyl?
They were opioid.
Opioid? Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. I guess it just showed how much I knew about access, right, to these medications. I thought just the police departments had them. And so as you were giving your brief, I was thinking about how helpful this could be for some people that I know, right? And so really appreciate the presentation. It was very helpful. Yes, Councilmember Hernandez.
Shane, thank you so much for coming tonight and sharing this important information. I hope that our city will take some measures to follow up and make this product, Noxapron, more available to our residents who need it. Thank you, too. Thank you, Doctor, for joining us. Much appreciated.
No problem.
Any other questions? Thank you so much again for the presentation.
Thank you.
Oh, correct. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to move on to our next proclamation. And I'd like to call up Ms. Maya Zumaya. She is going to come as Councilmember Perez reads the proclamation.
Yes, we are going to read the National Suicide Prevention Month proclamation. Whereas suicide is a serious and preventable public health issue that affects individuals, families, and communities across Ventura County and the nation. And whereas, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, suicide is one of the leading causes of death in the United States, and each life lost represents a profound tragedy for loved ones and the community. And whereas, raising awareness, reducing stigma, and educating the public on warning signs and intervention strategies are crucial to preventing suicide and promoting mental health and well-being. And whereas, Ventura County Behavioral Health, through funding provided by the Mental Health Services Act, is supporting community-based suicide prevention by making evidence-based trainings available at no cost to the public. And whereas MZ Independent Consulting is proud to partner in these efforts by encouraging all communities members to take a free suicide prevention training such as QPR, Question, Persuade, Refer, or Living Works, Safe Talk, to learn how to recognize the signs of suicide and confidently take action to save lives. And whereas Suicide Prevention Month provides an important opportunity to come together as a community to increase knowledge, offer support, and foster hope for those struggling with mental health challenges. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the City Council of the City of Port Hueneme hereby recognize the month of September as Suicide Prevention Month and encourage the community to take part in suicide prevention efforts by becoming informed, offering support, and promoting mental wellness. The City Council further recognizes MZ Independent Consulting as a proud partner in raising awareness and offering hope and resources to those who may be struggling.
Great, thank you, Councilmember Perez. Over to you, Ms. Amaya.
Thank you. Thank you to the City of Port Hueneme for this meaningful proclamation recognizing Suicide Prevention Awareness Month. I'm deeply honored and humbled to accept it on behalf of everyone who is working tirelessly to bring hope and healing to those affected by suicide. Suicide prevention is not just a cause I'm passionate about, it's a commitment I live every day. Every life matters, and every effort to we make to reach out, educate, and support truly saves lives. Here in Ventura County, we are seeing real measurable impact thanks to the individuals and organizations who stepped up to take the suicide prevention trainings, like our local Boys and Girls Club. Thank you so much. These free trainings offered through Ventura County Behavioral Health and funded by MSHA are empowering community members to recognize the warning signs, offer support, and connect people to help before it's too late. Lives are being saved right here in our neighborhoods because everyday people are choosing to get trained. If you or someone you know is interested in taking this vital step, please email me directly at mzhopeforlife@gmail.com. Together we can build a stronger, more compassionate community where no one feels alone. It's one thing to acknowledge that it's a public health crisis. It's another to come in contact with individuals on a daily basis that are having thoughts of suicide or worried about family members. It's a very real issue that we're having in our county, so I hope that our community will get trained. And I'd like to ask our city, I know the city of Moore Park city manager reached out and scheduled a training this Friday for their staff. If you work with people, if you know people, this training is extremely important because there are so many people suffering out there. So thank you again for this honor, for helping us shine a light on hope during Suicide Prevention Month. And when we started our awareness for mental health and suicide prevention several years ago, the city of Port Hueneme was really on board. So thank you for continuing that support. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Any comments for Ms. Amaya?
I'll just say thank you, Maya, for all the tireless work that you do. And I know you deal with things on every day and you get calls every day, and you've put yourself through a lot of training to make sure that you can do the best work that you can in this county. So I appreciate everything that you do for that.
Thank you. We're going to get your proclamation. Did you want to take a photo?
Sure, thank you. One, two, three. Sorry. One more. One, two, three.
Thank you, Maya.
We're going to move to our final proclamation, and so we'd like to welcome Mr. Patrick Maynard, the Director of Ventura County Sheriff's Office of Emergency Services, up. While he's coming, Councilmember Hernandez will read the proclamation.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. It's my honor to read the proclamation for National Preparedness Month, and even more pleased am I to see one of my successors, Patrick Maynard, here tonight. I know you've got a busy schedule, so I'll try to get through this as briefly as I can. Whereas September is National Preparedness Month and offers us the opportunity to reflect on significant disasters we have encountered, including September 11th attacks and recent winter storms, and whereas during this month our community honors and remembers the lives lost on September 11th and the brave Americans who displayed extraordinary acts of courage and sacrifice. And whereas severe storms and other hazards remind us that we live in a world of constant risk, where the next emergency could occur at any moment, and the preparedness can mean the difference between inconvenience and tragedy. And whereas National Preparedness Month is a crucial opportunity for the residents and businesses of Port Hueneme to prepare for all types of emergencies, whether at home, work, or in a recreational space. And whereas National Preparedness Month encourages individuals to take steps toward personal preparedness, ensuring that households, workplaces, schools, institutions of higher learning, houses of worship, and community-based organizations are equipped to handle disasters and reduce loss of life and economic impact in the event of a crisis. And whereas participation in community emergency response training empowers more citizens to take action, enhancing their preparedness and understanding of potential disasters, whether natural or man-made, and equipping them with the knowledge to stay safe and mitigate damage. And whereas emergency preparedness is a shared responsibility of every resident of Port Hueneme, and all are encouraged to prioritize preparedness by working together to ensure our community is ready for any type of disaster or emergency. And whereas engaging in National Preparedness Month activities will position Port Hueneme as a leader in preparedness and contribute to the overall resilience of our nation. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the City Council of the City of Port Hueneme does hereby proclaim the month of September 2025 Emergency Preparedness Month in the City of Port Hueneme, and all residents, businesses, and organizations are encouraged to participate in preparedness activities and contribute to building a more resilient Port Hueneme. Proclaimed this second day of September 2025.
Great. Over to you. Would you like to have words?
Good evening, Mayor, members of the council, Mr. Vega. My name is Patrick Maynard. I'm the Director of Emergency Services. First and foremost, thanks for the proclamation. We certainly appreciate the City of Port Hueneme bringing attention to this good cause. It was about 2 years ago that I stood before many of you discussing some flooding that occurred in Port Hueneme. And I think one of the biggest things we learned from that and many of the other incidents that have occurred really since then is that we're seeing these smaller incidents occur more often in places that we aren't really expecting them. I don't think any of us could have predicted what we saw that night in Port Hueneme, and I still flash back to much of the chaos that we dealt with. But I say all that to say we're seeing more disasters, and we're seeing them in more, I guess, complex situations. The thing that really frustrates me as we see an increase in disasters is how broken many of our recovery systems are. So I appreciate whoever authored that proclamation, because it mentioned the fact that disaster preparedness is a shared responsibility. And that absolutely is the fact of the matter. It is a shared responsibility. It's not just our responsibility as your Office of Emergency Services. It's not just your responsibility. It's our responsibility as a community to all do our part and work together. I vowed to myself this last couple of years to be very honest about something. We cannot be everything to everyone. As much as I want to say we'll be there to rebuild your house, we'll be there to help you recover, that's not the case. That's not the case. So it's very important that we all do our part. It starts at the personal level, so individual preparedness. I think Councilmember Hernandez mentioned that very well. Covered business preparedness. Many of the businesses in our community, we rely upon their service. So we need them to be prepared. They need to have a plan to ensure they can maintain continuity of operations. And then, of course, in the public sector, we need government at all levels to do what they can to both build capacity, ensure that they're doing training, and most importantly, invest. Invest in equipment, invest in staff, invest in preparedness. It's really an insurance policy. So we need everyone to do their part. I'll keep it short and sweet and leave it at that. Just a couple more shameless plugs, if you will. For preparedness information, please go to readyventuracounty.org. That's our website that we share with all the cities, has just good general preparedness information. And then lastly, please register for VC Alert. You can do that at vcalert.org. I appreciate the proclamation. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes, so I would say, and it wasn't necessarily a pleasure to work with you, but I had the experience of working with the county during that disaster when I was mayor, and you guys were well equipped and very organized, and you came in and moved quickly, and our city was the same, worked together very easily during that. So I got to see firsthand, my first time ever experiencing that, and that was something to see. And that disaster, you pointed out that this is a thing that we all should be prepared for. That pushed me to ask our chief to bring back the CERT program. And so I had myself and a group of people get CERT trained so our community can be more aware, and a lot of people in our community participated in that. So this did bring that to my attention, that everyone needs to be ready and aware and able to help themselves and their community when something like that happens.
That's a fantastic point. And then Mayor Perez, appreciate you being out there, hand in hand with us, working to respond to the community's needs.
Thank you. One of the things we heard earlier, and I think we should start to plan for, is the EV situation with batteries and fires. We're situated very close to the Port of Hueneme, which has a number of EVs and come in on ships and stuff. And so, maybe we might want to do a planning exercise like, well, what happens if, the what ifs. And, it's very timely now. And I notice that these batteries, the Tesla batteries that are very big, they're popping up all over the county. And so I think not only is it an issue for the city of Port Hueneme, but I think that, it's becoming an issue countywide. And I think that's the next one that we haven't seen yet. So,
It is. We're seeing it. It's happening more and more often. So I'm actually in total agreement. Not just for the port, but we're seeing battery storage facilities pop up throughout the county, and all of those require special planning. So it is an excellent topic, and we're happy to work with the city and the port on any planning that is undertaken.
Thanks again, Patrick, for showing up tonight. I look forward to seeing you again. I understand we might be bringing you back to do some training on the role of elected officials during disasters, so I look forward to seeing you again.
We'll be at VCOG on the 11th, I believe.
Great. Looking forward to it.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for, for your words. The lessons learned from all, you said that these occurrences could be smaller, but yet they're happening more frequent. Just whatever lessons learned that cities could have done, as a shared community, we could have done better. Pass it to the city manager, so he'll pass it to us, and we can get a good reading on other counties' disasters as well. I'd rather keep reading stuff and talking about like preparation rather than being, reactive to something. So appreciate you being here.
Most definitely. We'll be happy to share what we learn. And, I'll just say that not just because I'm standing in front of the Port Hueneme City Council and I like James, he's a great guy, but having the opportunity to respond in Port Hueneme was pretty remarkable. And that I think more than many of the cities that we've dealt with, this city put everything on the line. You did as much as you could within legal realm to help your residents, and that's what it takes. It really takes some creative thinking. There were many conversations between James and I about some of the complexities, but I appreciate the fact that Port Hueneme does everything they can for their residents. Not every city is like that, so I just want to commend the city for those efforts.
Yeah, great. I'll just say thank you, and thank you for saying that. Sometimes we feel that we don't do enough. But I appreciate you saying that we did, and so thank you so much. Councilmember Hernandez, you're going to go down?
I would love to. Thank you.
What you got?
Thank you.
They're not valued at more than $50.
1, 2, 3.
Can I get one just for time's sake?
1, 2, 3.
Thank you.
Right. Okay, thank you to everyone for reading those proclamations. We're going to move on now. We're going to recess from City Council meeting and call to order the Housing Authority regular meeting. The time is now 7:24. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Gama? Member Gama.
Member Gama's here.
Member Hernandez.
Here.
Member Perez.
Here.
Vice Chair Lopez.
Here.
And Chair McQueen-Lejeune.
Here.
Please let the record reflect that Housing Authority Member Brown is absent. And I don't know if you want to make an announcement.
Talk about Robert Bellico.
Yes, go ahead, City Manager.
I'll just note that we were informed that Member Blackwell has passed away. I think it was last week, and so we will be sending our condolences to that. And then we will be looking at the bylaws for the Housing Authority and determining whether we need to make another appointment or how we will be proceeding in the future.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay, we'll now hear public comments. Do we have any public comments?
No public comments for Housing Authority.
Okay, great, thank you. So now we'll look at the consent calendar of the Housing Authority, which would be enacted in one motion unless an authority member has a request to remove an item.
Move approval of the agenda?
Consent.
Consent agenda.
Okay, is there a second? Okay, Madam Clerk?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
Okay, so we'll now move to item number 7, Housing Authority business item. This is approving the closing of the RAD Section 18 small PHA blend conversion. Will staff please present the report? Ms. Basua.
Good evening. I'm here to present and ask that the board approve the closing of the RAD transaction, which includes the 60 units at Mar Vista and the 30 units at Hueneme Village. They are two different transactions, but we, yes, staff are asking that you approve this resolution that includes both. And I'm available to answer any questions that you may have.
Are there any questions? No questions? Okay, is there a motion? I'm sorry. Yeah, motion and a second, please.
Move to approve?
Second.
Great. Madam Clerk, are there any public comments?
No public comments.
Great, thank you. Madam Clerk?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes.
Great, thank you. All right, so are there any reports from the authority members? Any reports, comments, or requests for future agenda items? No? Great, thank you. We'll now adjourn the Port Hueneme Housing Authority regular meeting, and the next regular meeting is scheduled for Monday, October 6th at 6:30 p.m. We will now reconvene to the City Council regular meeting. The time is now 7:27, and we'll move to the regular meeting's consent calendar. And so now, this is the regular meeting consent calendar, so the items will be enacted in one motion unless a member would like to pull an item. Does anyone like to pull an item? If not, is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second?
Great. Madam Clerk?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Great. So we're going to move now to a public hearing, adopt the resolution granting special use permit number PHSU 25-25-2 to allow the Port of Hueneme Oxnard Harbor District to host the 12th Annual Port of Hueneme Banana Festival and find the event exempt from CEQA. Madam Clerk, do you have proof of publications as required by law and a complete file of reports and exhibits?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Great. Will staff please present the report?
Yes, thank you. Grab the clicker. So we will start with, we have two public hearings today related to two permit approvals. The first is for the 12th Annual Port of Hueneme Banana Festival. And so we issued the proclamation earlier today, and now this is the item to actually approve the permit with all of the details about how the event will work and how we are ensuring that we're meeting all our permit requirements. And so I think people are familiar with the Banana Festival, and no major changes this year are being proposed, so I won't spend a lot of time on it. I will highlight maybe a couple of small things. But so the Banana Festival, for anybody not familiar, is the public event held by the Port of Hueneme in the sun-kissed lot. The festival will feature a vintage car show similar to last year, over 70 food and retail vendors, a recreational children's area, a live art exhibition area, alcohol service booths, a main entertainment stage featuring live entertainment, commercial and industrial mechanical equipment exhibits, land and boat port tours, and general information booths. The festival will occur on Saturday, the 27th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And it's anticipated that it will bring in about 10,000 patrons per day. The permit is exempt from CEQA, and it's just a high-level site map of the proposed site plan is shown. Like we said, it's pretty similar to prior years. I'm going to, I think there was one change that we just wanted to highlight, and I'll ask Jose Cayotol, our planner, to jump in with that.
Sure. Hi, sorry for being late. Mayor Pro Tem, Council, everyone joining us today. So yes, for James, there will be a small change, and that is that the DJ for the car show will actually be happening this year. Last year it was dropped at the last second. So there is a deviation with that there will be a DJ at that promenade, which is mentioned in that circle there. At the lower right corner of the right-hand side site plan. Otherwise, everything will remain the same. The general footprint area will be kept. All the other activities mentioned previously from last year will be retained. There's still expected to be 130 cars on display, and there will still be those K-rails used for safety for the static car show, meaning that the car show will be fully operational by the time that the public is invited in. The cars will remain there until the event concludes. So once again, highlighting some of that car show information is that 130 vintage cars located on Ventura or on Market and Surfside Drive with an award ceremony at 3:30. The entertainment is still being formulated. And to help with some of that sound mitigation issues for the nearby residents and the public, sound levels will be monitored and adjusted as needed with ongoing coordination with the police department and to ensure that there's a respectful environment for residents and guests. Traffic and security, as with the previous request from subsequent years, Market Street is going to be closed just south of Anacapa Beach View Homes driveway, with a soft close at South Seaview and Market for the police department to go ahead and make sure that people are residents, and then therefore they can access that Anacapa Beach View Homes. Surfside Drive will remain closed west of Shoreview Drive. That's the Surfside 1 driveway. Closures are expected from 4 a.m. to 6 on the date of the event. Staffing will be done by the police department and the police explorers at key crossings and turnaround points, with 15 uniformed guards patrolling the actual festival area. Signage will be deployed along all of the city, with directional wayfinding signs deployed on Ventura Road and Clara Street, and Ventura Road and Port Hueneme Road, which will have the main sort of gist of when the event's happening, where's parking, and the fact that parking will be free. Highlighting more on the rideshare and parking, there will be a dedicated area for rideshare pickup and drop-off at 105 East Port Hueneme Road, which was the case last year, and that's mainly made so that the GPS can actually tie something, a building or a main monument, to where the drop-off is going to be. Once again, the request is for free parking to be available all throughout the beach, which includes all the beach lots, Ocean View Drive and Surfside Drive. Accessible parking and 1 hour parking for our Surfside Seafood patrons will still be remaining in parking lot A. And a free ADA compliant shuttle will be provided at key locations along the pathway from 9 a.m. to 6:30 to help guests get to the main entrance. Fiscal impact, beach revenues will not be collected. And there will be costs associated with city staffing for police officers, maintenance crews, and the latter. This ties into two strategic consistency points. One is optimal levels of service for residents and businesses. That is to support and establish programs and events that create a strong sense of community pride and a connection to our history and our heritage. And innovation and opportunity, retain and maximize opportunities for local businesses as the backbone for our community. It is a recommendation for City Council to adopt the resolution that conditionally approves PHSU 25-2 and to find the project to be categorically exempt from CEQA since it is a temporary land use entitlement. I'm available for questions, and the applicant, Randy Latimer, director with the Banana Beach Festival Committee, would like to say a couple of words.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, City Manager, everybody here. I'm Randy Latimer. I am honored to be the director of the Banana Festival. This is my third year being involved, and as Commissioner said earlier, you know, we want to try to keep this a small festival. Tell you, this is a really hard thing to do. This has become a really popular festival in Hueneme and in the surrounding cities, and you know, getting 10,000 people consistently coming into the festival is what we're seeing, and a lot of people want to join in. I just want to a couple of things I want to make sure. I know Jose pointed them out, but keeping the least impact on the surrounding community is really our biggest thing that we worked on a lot. We've prepared a traffic mitigation plan along with the noise mitigation plan, and residents will have a direct number to call if there are complaints. Not just calling the police, but guess what? You get my number, and I get to fill those or one of my staff folks. But working with the port and our Team Bananas, I got one member back there. It's really been a pleasure working with the City of Port Hueneme and the community on continuing to make this festival a very fun festival. I always tell my team we're not trying to do Groundhog Day every year where you know you come there and this is what you're going to see. You're going to see different things. You're going to hear a lot of see a lot of creativity, and a lot of different things. We do have a lineup this year, and it's on our website. We have 4 live bands playing. And there are 3 of the 4 are local. In Stone, we have reggae with Maury and the Heavy Hitters. We have a Santana tribute band, Savor, and rounding out local favorite Brandon Regan Project, along with a community stage, which will have artists and giving information talks and other really cool stuff, some STEM activities for our kids, robotics. We have a drone cage coming this year. And then we have the car show outside of the gates, but that is still a major part, that is definitely a major part of the festival, which will have, you know, over 120 participants showing off their classic vintage cars, and just a full day. Lots of banana treats. Every one of our food vendors has to bring something banana treat flavored, something. Someone's bringing banana hot dogs again, but I'm not sure what that means, but we're gonna try it again. But we have it's gonna be a fun-filled day of just exciting stuff. And yes, everyone, come and go bananas with us at the Banana Festival. Any questions for me?
Great. Any questions?
I do have a question. I saw the word live art exhibit. Is that actually a live art exhibit? Or
That is a live art exhibit. It's one of the 40-foot shipping containers. We have an artist that's going to paint a mural live. We did it in 2023, painted one side of the shipping container. Last year, it didn't get done for whatever reason, but this year it's back. So it's really cool to watch it, see it go from zero to just a shipping container to a beautiful art image. And it really showcases some of our local artists.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that, and I hope maybe we could position that container after the festival on the walkway so it could be visible for hopefully a whole year. So when I was a little kid attending,
Okay, just questions only right now. We're gonna
Okay.
come back around, if you don't mind.
Okay, I have a
This is-
que-
We're in a
I have
hearing,
a
so we
question.
wanna make sure we.
will you ever have a banana split at the Banana Festival? Because when I was a little kid, we had a 600-foot banana split down the street.
Okay, any questions?
Yeah, I do. Thank you, Mayor. And thank you, Randy. Good to see you and Lisa here tonight. I fielded a couple of questions this weekend from residents who wanted to know about provisions for ADA parking. And have we changed the footprint as far as expanding more, to provide for more handicap parking places?
Yes, we've had that, a couple of major points on ADA. We added another ADA compliant bus to the shuttle pickups. Also, with our tours, we added a ADA bus to our land tours at the festival. As far as parking, yes, we did designate additional ADA parking spaces within the festival parking site. So if someone does come with a valid disabled placard, they will be parked as close as we can with the amount of space that we have.
Will there be a drop-off point so people don't have to unload and then reload onto a shuttle and then unload from the shuttle? Is there a drop-off point where people who pull up in their cars can just maybe drop somebody off who might have a wheelchair or a walker? Is that possible, or?
Yes, we'll get them as close into the festival as possible. There is a drop-off point on the northern side where the VIP entrance is, and that's where we'll designate for someone who needs accessibility to be dropped off.
Okay, great, thank you.
Great, thank you.
No questions.
Yeah, no questions for me there. Any other questions? Everybody's good? Okay, great. So if we have finished with our questions, we'll now open open the hearing for public input. The time is 7:42. Are there any public input, Madam Clerk?
No public comments.
Okay, great, thank you. We'll now close the public hearing, and we'll now move on to the recommendation at 7:42. And so, council members, you have the recommendation in front of you. Is there a motion and a second?
Move to approve the recommendation?
Second.
Great, thank you. And before we take the vote, we'll move to discussion. Anyone have comments or discussions? Now's the time. No? Go. Councilmember Gama? You forgot?
No, I already made them.
Oh, you made them. Okay, great.
I got a comment.
Okay, go right ahead.
Yeah, it was good to hear the backstory of how the Banana Festival was founded. So I know Mr. Commissioner Ramirez is gone, but thankful for the backstory and how the Banana Festival got started here in Ventura County, or here in our beautiful city of Port Hueneme. That's it.
Great, thank you. If there's nothing else, Madam Clerk, please take roll.
Okay. Councilmember Gama?
Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez?
Yes.
Councilmember Perez?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lopez?
Yes.
And Mayor McQueen LaShawn?
Yes,
Motion passes unanimously.
great, thank you. And thank you, staff, for the report. We'll move to item number 14, adopt a resolution granting plan development permit number PHPD-25-1 to allow modification to the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Oxnard in Port Hueneme located at 590 East Pleasant Valley Road, and find the event exempt from CEQA. Madam Clerk, do you have the proof of publication as required by law and the complete file of reports and exhibits?
Yes, Madam Mayor.
Great, thank you. Will staff please present the report?
Hello, good evening again. For your consideration is the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Oxnard, Port Hueneme, Plan Development PHPD 25-1. So the project request and CEQA determination. So the Boys and Girls Club is located at 590 East Pleasant Valley Road with a zoning designation of General Commercial C1. The request is to issue a plan development permit. One was not awarded at the time that the Boys and Girls Club went into the existing site. And so now in order to remediate that and be able to meet the following items, they would subsequently need a plan development permit, which is why it's being considered tonight. That is for administrative relief of required parking via parking shared agreement to improve outdoor program and safety for the club, enhance ADA accessibility and sign functionality, and remodel the exterior of the building and the site. CEQA determination is that this project is going to be exempt from CEQA, subject to 15301 Class 1, as there's no expansion of use. The project is light and accessory to the main developed site, so no further environmental review would be required. The location narrowing in, as can be seen at 590 East Pleasant Valley Road, it is just north of where we are sitting today, adjacent to Richard Bard Elementary School, along Evergreen Lane, and then Port Hueneme. Site improvements include a playground area, which would be crafted from the back of house, where there's right now a rear parking lot. This request would call for the secure of that area by perimeter fencing and installation of a playground in the back. The front yard area that currently has landscaping would also be fenced off, and that would create another area for kids to congregate in a safe manner. Parking and accessibility, there's going to be slurry seal and restriping, removal of 6 parking spaces, and an additional ADA stall to meet current building codes. The site improvements that will mainly be seen is going to be new CMU walls along with perimeter see-through fencing to secure the site, replace walkways, and have new post-mounted lighting to provide better visibility at night. Landscaping would be another major component of this request, then that is to remove 3 trees. The applicant has agreed to replace with 5, so we're gaining an additional 2 trees. There will also be substantial general planting improvements on the site that will be referenced in the next slides. Other things to consider is that City Council approval is required to enter into a shared parking agreement and operations plan for reduction in required off-street parking. Luckily, the Boys and Girls Club is adjacent to another public agency owned by the Hueneme Elementary School District, more specific, the Richard Bard Elementary School. There has been an approved shared parking agreement with both the club and Hueneme Elementary School District that covers shared parking access as well as reciprocal easements for driveway entrances to both of the shared parking areas. For weekday use, events, and overflow parking. And with their parking study, this does reflect the need to go ahead and approve the required off-street parking subsection code PHMC 10301B6 to allow for reduction in parking. And another thing to highlight is that based on the operational schedules, luckily the school would operate in the morning, and then in the evening hours, the club would then use the unused parking spaces. Table 1 further shows the non-conflicting schedules that exist, and the school is not entering into any year-round school or summer school that would prohibit them from using it during summer or at other peak hours. And then further, condition of approval 6 ensures that there is plenty of parking and that it's adequately parked at all times of the year. Narrowing in on the actual goodies of this new improvement, to the left you'll see the site plan. Shadowed in purple is the new expansion area. Down at the lower left corner, you'll see that that's where the playground equipment is going and the removal of the 6 parking spaces. That will be fenced off, and there will be a wall that's located along the back. And then in the front, with that hashing of light purple along Pleasant Valley Road on the north side of that exhibit, you will see that there's going to be substantial improvements, including perimeter and landscaping improvements, which are on the right side there. The intent also is that there is mature trees, and as they fail, they will be replanted with this new tree species seen there in the purple. The existing tree is seen on the right side there, the green tree. So far, they've been healthy, but as with most trees in Port Hueneme, the health sort of continues to deteriorate as some of them are past their lifetime. These are the project renderings. So the first one on the top shows exactly what that'll look like looking south when you're driving or walking on Pleasant Valley. So again, there's going to be shrubs that break up that perimeter landscaping. There's going to be trees installed to provide some pedestrian shade. And then along the back of house will be the playground fenced in back there. Fiscal impact, the city did not fund this, so there is none. Strategic consistency touches on 2 pillars: optimal levels of service for residents and businesses, that is to support and establish programs and events that create a strong sense of community and pride and a connection to our history and our heritage, and innovation and opportunity, to invest in new programs and technologies to strengthen our economy and attract innovation. It is now recommended that the City Council adopt the resolution that conditionally approves Plan Development PHPD 25-1 and find the project to be categorically exempt from CEQA. I am available for future questions. However, the applicant has requested to make their own presentation. So Erin Adram, the Boys and Girls Club Executive Chief's Officer, is going to go over her own presentation. And she's joined by Lizette Elenez, the project architect.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for allowing us some time to talk to you about our very exciting project happening at our Port Hueneme Boys and Girls Club. So I'm Erin Antrim, CEO of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Oxnard and Port Hueneme, and this is Lizette Elena from ERA Architects, and she's the architect on the project. So you've seen some of these renderings. Do you advance or? Thank you. You've seen some of the renderings, but I did want to just show you some very up-to-date photos. I know several of you were at our groundbreaking / wall smashing. Construction is well underway at the project, and it's very exciting for the community. And I'll just go over, just some very high-level things around the entire project, not just the exterior. So it's a $2.5 million investment that our communities of Oxnard and Port Hueneme made into this Boys and Girls Club, which will be reopened as the Premier America Boys and Girls Club. And it's going to expand services for not only the youth, but the community as well. This renovation will allow for expanded capacity for academic support, leadership, and after-school programs. And the safe and upgraded clubhouse will serve as a hub for youth engagement for all young people in the city of Port Hueneme. And you can see, those of you who have been to the Boys and Girls Club, you can see this is the rendering for the newly designed games room. And just to the left is a state-of-the-art esports lab. So here are some of the key renovation features for the project. An advanced STEAM lab. So we have this at our 5th Street location, and we're happy to bring it to our Port Hueneme location. It's a college and career-ready STEAM innovation center. And it's really there to foster innovation and learning in science, technology, arts, and math. We've selected modules that are tied to industries in our community, so a lot to do with the military, flight technology, drone technology, those types of things. And it's really cutting edge programming for young people in our community. And then an esports lounge. So this engages young people in digital competition and teamwork with advanced gaming setups. And an art room, which has always been kind of a pillar of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Port Hueneme. We're going to offer a variety of high-quality arts experience, such as digital, visual, applied, literary, and performing arts. And then you can see here, facility improvements include upgraded program spaces, community rooms, enhanced safety for our young people inside of the building, new play structure, and renovated parking. So typically, there has been no outdoor usable space at this club. Here are some of the funders that help support this. It was a $5 million campaign, which Boys and Girls Clubs started in 2019. And $2.5 million of it, probably a little bit more because we need a new roof, is going to be for the Port Hueneme Boys and Girls Club. And here's some of the people who have helped support these efforts. We're hoping to have about 120 daily participants and serve about 450 youth annually. We are building a multi-purpose room inside of the club so that we can hopefully host community meetings, community events, those types of things as well. And if you could see, if you know what the Boys and Girls Club looked like just 7 weeks ago, it looks very different. And so it really just supports the city's strategic plans, which Jose went over earlier. And this really is, the city of Port Hueneme sold us this building for $1 back in 2014. And I was a newly hired CEO at that time. And I thought, I need to make a promise to the community of Port Hueneme. This building is old. You know, it was built sometime in the late 60s, 70s, and our kids of Port Hueneme deserve better. And I made that promise to the community back in 2014, and now the dream is coming to reality. So we say promises made, promises kept. And we're really appreciative of your support of this project. You can see project kickoff. We did the groundbreaking on June 13th, and upgrades interior started July 1st. And we're hoping with the permit being approved that we'll be able to start exterior upgrades. And Anderson Construction is managing the build, ensuring phase coordination with very minimal disruptions at this point. So that's it. I don't know if you have any questions for either myself or Lizette.
Are there any questions? Go right ahead, Councilmember.
Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you for your presentation and all the work you're doing. We talked a few days ago about how wonderful this is going to be for our community. I had a question, however, about the trees. The trees that you're removing are they're fully grown? There's like, you're removing how many?
3.
3, and are they going to be replaced by fully grown trees?
They're going to be, they're fully grown. They're just kind of on a smaller scale.
Smaller scale, but they'll, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Those trees, unfortunately, are doing a lot of damage to the plumbing of the building and the sidewalks. It's creating an unsafe environment because the roots are pulling up the sidewalks.
Understood. Okay, thank you. That's all I had.
Yeah, if I could, Council Member Hernandez. So when we did our landscape design guidelines, we made it a point, and so did our architect, our landscape architect, that when we would be replacing trees, they would be in smaller scale because they have more opportunities for growth and establishment. So going forward with all of these, we basically go back to 24-inch box trees in order for them to hit their peak maturity at some point, and it's usually a 20-year lifespan when they get there. So that's kind of, I mean, yeah, it's I'm with you as far as like we're losing canopy and whatnot, but in order for the trees to really thrive and mature, they have to be in a smaller scale. Yeah.
Very good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Your Pro Tem?
I have 2 questions. So at Richard Bard Elementary, when the school is when the classes are over, a lot of schools here in Ventura County, they walk over to the Boys and Girls Club. Have you guys thought about putting a crosswalk from the school to the Boys and Girls Club so that there's a designated walkway?
We have not, but that's a good idea. I mean, it's a shared parking lot. Right now, we have staff that go over and pick up the kids and walk them back. It's a walking program, but that's a good idea.
Yeah, just because there's a lot of traffic going in and out of there when the school's
It's very busy.
basically coming out, and it's real busy there.
Mhm.
It would be just a thought. The other thing, Hueneme High School has a robotics team. So to me, this is a good seed program that actually will translate to them going to high school. So it would be good to like coordinate with Hueneme High School, their team lead. I got his contact info. I could share with. If you give me your card, I'll share it with you.
That'd be great.
That's all I got.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? All right. No other questions? Okay, let's move on then. Let's see. So we'll now open the public hearing and take public comments. The time is now 7:58. Madam Clerk, are there any public comments?
No public comments for this item.
All right, then we'll conclude the public input and now close the public hearing at 7:59. And so can we put the slide with the recommendations? That's okay, I'll read them. So we have before us a recommendation to adopt the resolution approving plan development permit number PHPD 25-25-1 Boys and Girls Club of Greater Oxnard and Port Hueneme. And number 2, find the project special use permit PHPD-25-1 to be categorically exempt from CEQA and to take such additional related actions that may be desirable. if there are no additional actions, can I get a motion on items number 1 and 2?
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution granting plan development permit number PHPD 25-1.
Second.
Great, thank you. So now is the time for discussion. Does anyone have any comments?
I just wanted to add to my comments to the Boys and Girls Club and to Aaron for thanking them for their good work, and to note that this is one more step toward making our community a desirable and attractive place to live. And it's also comes with an economic development benefit for us in that it's a draw. It's a draw for residents to come and spend time in Port Hueneme, and people from South Oxnard as well, right? Yeah. So, okay, that's all I
Great,
had.
and
Thanks.
I'll just say, like Councilmember Hernandez said, it's just so exciting to see just the difference that building is going to make on Pleasant Valley Road. And while we're excited, I'm sure your staff is very excited, and I'm sure the children are excited. So thank you so much for all that you do in support of the city of Port Hueneme. We thank you. Okay, Madam Clerk, did you
Mayor-
have anything?
Yeah, Mayor, if
Go
I
right ahead.
may just quickly, I heard a motion to adopt the resolution, but we also need to make sure we're approving recommendation 2 to find the project exempt from CEQA. So I just want to
Yeah, I
make sure
think
that's.
we did.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's for both 1 and 2?
Yes,
One
yes,
and two.
we'll include
Yes.
that. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Comment?
Yes, go right ahead.
I just want to, my comment is this, $5 million in donations from our community. Wow, that's thank you for spearheading that. And this collaborative is just so beneficial for our community. Just to see the amount of people that actually showed up, and just, these donations came in from all over Ventura County. So we appreciate that, and thank you for spearheading that.
Great, thank you. So we have before us a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, please take a roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Gama?
Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez?
Yes.
Councilmember Perez?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Lopez?
Yes.
And Mayor McQueen-Leshan?
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Great, thank you. We'll move on to business item number 15, Second Amendment to the Employment Agreement for City Manager James Vega. Will staff please present the report?
Thank you, Honorable Mayor and council members. Mr. Vega's asked that I do this presentation, given that it's his contract. You have before you for your consideration this evening a proposed amendment number 2 to Mr. Vega's contract. The basic amendment request is to extend his contract for an additional 2 years. Because of current budgetary restraints right now, Mr. Vega has agreed to basically forego any cost of living or merit increases. You had a performance review back on July 14th. The results of that review were satisfactory performance, and so he's requesting a 2-year extension to his current contract. That's for your consideration this evening.
Great, thank you. Does council have any questions? Just questions at this time. Any questions? All right. Are there any public comments?
No public comments.
Great. So we have before us a recommendation to approve the proposed Second Amendment to City Manager James Vega's employment agreement and authorize the mayor to execute the amendment upon council approval. The amendment extends the term of City Manager Vega's employment contract by 2 years, and at the city manager's request, foregoing cost of living and merit adjustments at this time, while the city continues to address budgetary constraints. Do I have a motion and a second?
Move to approve?
Second.
Great. Are there any discussion or comments? I have a comment. City manager, just know that what you are doing now is admirable, and it is leading by example. And so I appreciate, while we understand why we're here, just think it's for you to volunteer that for the sake of this city. is admirable, and I want everybody to know that.
Yeah, I want to thank you for your service. It's been very productive, I must say. And I really appreciate the fact that you are leading by example and foregoing any increases. And we appreciate your work and look forward for 2 more solid years.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to thank you, James. I know I ask a lot of questions, and you always have the answer. And city's in good shape, considering our budgetary constraints. So, thank you for being proactive on our approach.
Yeah, and I think I just want to follow up with, I don't know how many times I hear from our residents just the pleasure of, or the being so pleased about our city and all the things that we have done and all the progress that we have made and the communication that our city is now seeing. I remember when I was running for city council, that was one of my platform, is to ensure that a community felt connected, right? And I think that's something that you have done a great job at. Our residents know that you are a call away, even though we don't want them to call you all the time, but they know that you're one call away and they know they'll get a response from you. And I just thank you for all that you've done for the city. And I think a lot of what we're doing in the city today is attributed to your work and your understanding of how cities work and your ability to look at information and see things. And that's not a skill that everybody has. And so I do appreciate you so much. And so if there's nothing, Councilmember
Yes, ma'am.
Perez.
So early in your career, you have a wealth of knowledge that's amazing compared to others who have more experience than you. And you recently attended an event, and somebody made a post about it, about how helpful you were and the information you gave, and how they were so happy to have a city manager that, and the event I'm talking about, the Ventura County Realtors Association. So I appreciate what you do for our community and the answers that you give, the information you provide, and dealing with all 5 of us, which I'm sure is always fun. So we appreciate you, and we thank you for wanting to stick around for another 2 years. And we look forward to working with you.
I'll just say ditto to that all. And I also heard over the weekend that you did a great job representing the city at the Realtors Association. You held your ground standing next to Santa Paula, who's got lots of space to develop and grow, but you made your mark. So thank you for doing that. And thank you for all you do.
Great. If there's nothing else, we have a motion and a second. So Madam Clerk, please take a vote.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Great, thank you. We're going to move to item number 16, City Council request for letter of support for the Ventura County Board of Supervisors Immigration Resources item and direction regarding related matters. Will staff please present the report?
Thank you. And bear with me, this item's a little bit strange. Thank you. Not how we maybe normally do things, so I'll be talking about some things we've done and then sort of ratification now, and we'll try to keep it clear. But at our last council meeting, at that time, the county had scheduled a Board of Supervisors meeting that was going to occur following our last council meeting. And at that Board of Supervisors meeting, the Board of Supervisors was going to consider an item that included several steps related to providing resources or information related to those impacted by some of the current immigration-related activities. And so the council unanimously voted to put an item on this agenda to consider supporting and issuing a letter of support to the county for that meeting. Well, because the county's meeting and the county's vote was held last week, it's a little bit strange, like I said. essentially what we have done as a city is we've gathered some information about what the county is doing, and we've gathered some information about some what got approved, what didn't get approved, and what options are out there. And so we'll provide some of that information, and then we'll also ask the council to retroactively approve, because the council had asked for an item to be on the agenda. We had drafted a simple letter of support citing our legislative platform with a focus on providing resources to local residents, local community members, which is something that the city generally is supportive of. But we're asking the council to essentially consider ratifying that letter. Also, although the item passed and the vote passed, by doing that, the council could decide whether they would take that position if there were future votes on the same matters. But we'll start with, so that was kind of big picture, looking more at the detail. The Board of Supervisors had their meeting on August 12th and 26th. They had extensive public testimony over those two meetings. As I said earlier, we drafted a letter of support based on our legislative platform focused on supporting resources for local community members. Also in this packet, we had got information from the county and VCCF, which is essentially the county's fundraising arm. The county had created Ventura County Community Fund, and they are starting a neighbor support fund, which is a humanitarian fund for any humanitarian needs locally moving forward. And so the neighbors are the Neighbor Support Fund and VCCF have asked cities to sort of endorse and help get information out about those fundraising efforts. So that item is also included as part of this agenda item. When the county held their vote, there were some items that failed to receive the needed 4-1 vote. It had to be a 4-1 vote to pass. And so it had a 3-2 vote, but that wasn't enough to pass. So the items that failed was, although the county, their fundraising arm is VCCF, and VCCF has created this neighbor support fund, the county was considering that day giving $250,000 towards a legal defense fund. That failed, again, by a 3-2 vote. It didn't have the 4-1 supermajority needed. Also, I think in a nutshell, the items that failed were really the monetary impacting items. And so the second piece that failed was the $1.3 million a year budget adjustment to hire 7 additional public defender staff for immigration related items. So again, that failed by a 3-2 vote, not having the supermajority. And the main reason, obviously we're paraphrasing, but watching the meeting, the main reasons cited by the board were budget concerns about taking on new monetary items on a time where they're, I would say at this point, most agencies in the county are watching their budgets closely and sort of tightening their belt buckles. And so they cited concerns related to the budget, and then also felt that the federal government should be the agency that's responsible for taking on some of these matters, which is always interesting because for us is like sort of that government structure of federal government to state government to county government to city government. A lot of times we're saying the cities can't solve all these problems that are really, high level problems. So it was interesting to hear the county's perspective on this, was that this really should be a federal issue. And so they essentially were saying it needs to be solved at a higher level as well. So those items failed. What passed was they are moving forward with their training initiative. And so the board approved the development of training for county staff who may interact with federal immigration enforcement with the goal of improving awareness, consistency, and sensitivity in handling encounters with ISA-related agencies. Based on the conversation tonight, one thought that we had is that we can try to reach out to the county and sort of piggyback off of those efforts and try to get some of those same materials and have consistency with the agencies in the county having the same information. And then the second item, although the $250,000 contribution to the VCCF, Ventura County Neighbor Support Fund, failed, the county has moved forward with having that Ventura County Neighbor Support Fund, and that is still an opportunity. Really, I think the idea is really to allow community members to come together, and if they choose to support this fund, which will be able to provide humanitarian assistance for families and workers facing urgent needs and community challenges. And I know from talking with Vanessa Bechtel from VCCF, this is really intended to be a humanitarian fund for the county moving forward, no matter what the challenge is. So it's really not intended to be political or any of that. It's just a fund that is being created to help families in need when they're in need, sort of regardless of what that reason may be. And I will remind everybody, I think having Patrick here today, Patrick Maynard here, was helpful because we actually partnered with VCCF to do something similar on a smaller scale and create that fundraiser locally that helped with the families impacted by the storms. And it ended up resulting in, I think, almost 100 of our impacted community members getting $1,000 donation to help them recover. And so we saw firsthand the difference that makes. And I think one of the goals for us is we just want to make sure people are aware that that is sort of an official fundraiser that's out there at a county level, that's operating across the county, and that we know has helped in the past and is trying to put together this platform to be able to help again in the future. So on the slide, we list the types of relief that can be provided by the fund. It includes food security, such as groceries, meal programs, and nutrition support, transportation assistance, such as gas cards, bus passes, and emergency travel, housing and shelter, education and childcare, such as support for students' after-school programs and childcare services, workforce aid, and nonprofit and school support. Those are all types of relief provided by the Ventura County Community Foundation. And one of the things that we learned during that situation with the storm was that the VCCF already has really a good network and coalition that includes many key partners such as the County of Ventura, the Ventura County Office of Education, EDC-VC, League of Women Voters, McCune Foundation, and the Ventura County Credit Union, and others. And they're led by an advisory committee of community leaders for transparency and accountability, with 100% of donations going directly towards relief efforts. And so included with the agenda, where we're asking the council to confirm and sort of authorize, although it is a little retroactively, the letter of support to the Board of Supervisors. We're also recommending that the council consider whether to endorse the VCCF fund, the Ventura County Neighbors Support Fund. I have, of course, I met with VCCF, and I thanked them for their help in the storm, and we talked about this, and I did note that with our tight budget right now, I don't anticipate that the city, we just don't have discretionary funding this year to be able to put towards this. But having that conversation with VCCF, I was assured by Vanessa that the support of the city of Port Hueneme saying that they support this fundraiser is a benefit to VCCF, and that on its own has value. So we've recommended that council consider those two items, and then also was the direction to staff to reach out to the county to try to coordinate that training and informational materials item that the county did approve. So with that, I think we may have a VCCF representative. Yeah, I thought so. Did you feel like you needed to add anything to that? Okay. Yeah, if I missed anything.
Much like the Boys and Girls Club, I was established in the 1960s, but have not been refurbished. I want to just thank you very much for looking at the potential of the support of the Neighbor Support Fund. We've made a slight change to it to call it the Neighbor Support Coalition. And as the city manager rightfully talked about, it's so that we are prepared with VCCF to have a coalition of folks looking at both disaster relief and humanitarian relief. And we come to you today really asking for your support so that we can put your name on the list of partners. That is long and growing, and we understand by making it a coalition as opposed to just a fund, that of course, we'd always take some donations, but just know that we're here standing by for the county, and Port Hueneme is incredibly important as a piece of that. So thank you very much.
Great, thank you. Does the council have any questions?
I have a question
Councilmember Hernandez.
for our city manager. Being that we are financially just strapped, especially now we're going through labor negotiations and with the uncertainty of the future, would there be an opportunity in the down the road to consider allocating monies from the Community Benefit Fund as a donation toward the
I think it's possible. I guess I can answer it this way, because obviously council's aware that the allocations have to be approved by both the port and the city, but I don't see any reason why the city wouldn't be able to propose that.
Okay, great, thank you.
Any other questions? City Manager, can you just state again, you mentioned 2 actions. Can you just state those 2 again?
Yeah, so I think I sort of snuck a third in there, so I'll try to summarize those. So one is sort of ratifying the letter of support to the Board of Supervisors, which really the only impact that has is that it means that if that comes up again, we can, it's good for the record, and then also that if the topic came up again, we could submit it. So one is ratifying the letter of support. Second is endorsing the Ventura County Community Foundation's Neighbor Support Coalition. And third would be directing staff to coordinate with the County of Ventura regarding training and informational materials, authorizing us to be able to do that.
Okay, Madam Clerk, do we have any public comments?
Yes, we do. First is Lori Haskins. And that would be followed by Sarah Wachowski.
Good evening. My name is Lori Haskins, and I'm here as part of the 805 Immigrant Rapid Response Network and 805 UndocuFund. We are here tonight to urge the council to allocate city funding for immigrant legal services and humanitarian aid. This funding will directly support families impacted by immigration enforcement and ensure they have access to due process and stability. Port Hueneme has nearly 60% of its residents identify as Hispanic or Latino. Immigrant families are central to the city's neighborhood schools, workforce, and culture. Immigrant workers, including undocumented residents, are vital to the port's economic and agricultural and service industries. Their labor and spending generate millions for the local economy, yet they remain excluded from many basic protections. On July 10th, one of California's largest immigration enforcement operations devastated families across Ventura County. While most of these apprehended lived in Oxnard, many had family ties to the community and roots here in Port Hueneme. Some families are still struggling without access to immigration attorneys, leaving them vulnerable to permanent separation. As a city with a majority Latino population, Port Hueneme has both the responsibility and the opportunity to stand with immigrant families, allocate funding for legal services, ensure fairness, due process, and dignity for our community members. By dedicating resources to legal defense and humanitarian support, Port Hueneme can lead by example and protect the families who are the heart of this community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor McQueen Leon, City Council, and City staff.
My name is Sarah Wilczewski, and I am here as part of the 805 Immigrant Rapid Response Network and 805 and DocuFund. Frankly, I'm angry. I'm angry at the lack of action by our county supervisors. Over the course of 2 meetings, over 100 people spoke in support of Supervisor Lopez's proposal for legal and education assistance for our immigrant neighbors. And even more submitted written comments and signed on to the community letter in support. I saw Councilmember Hernandez and Mayor McQueen-Leon there in person, and I want to thank you for showing your support. This inaction by our county leaders breaks the trust of our community. Swift, decisive, and measurable action will help rebuild that trust. Please take action and support our vulnerable friends, neighbors, and families. Roughly 60% of Port Huenemi's population identifies as Hispanic or Latino. This community is deeply tied to the city's neighborhoods, schools, and economy. Immigrant workers, including undocumented residents, are vital to the Port Hueneme economy, agricultural, and service industries. While the majority of those apprehended at Glass House on July 10th are Oxnard residents, many have family ties and community roots in Port Hueneme. Many community members are still traumatized, and some are still trying to get legal aid 2 months later. We ask you to take action for justice, equity, and safety of your constituents. We need the support of for vulnerable immigrant communities at every level of government. The impacts of these policies are felt at every level, especially locally, all within your neighborhoods, your friends, your family. We ask you to take action where our county leaders have failed us. We urge you to allocate city funding for the immigrant legal services and humanitarian aid. Thank you.
Thank you.
Odette Moran. And that will be followed by Susana Baron.
Good evening, Port Hueneme City Council. My name is Odette. My pronouns are they, them, theirs, and I recently moved to the city of Port Hueneme from South Oxnard, and getting to know the city of Port Hueneme in a more intimate level, even though South Oxnard is right next to Port Hueneme, and have grown up as these two cities as one. And throughout my experience, it's been that a lot of our community here in Port Hueneme, as in South Oxnard, is largely immigrant and largely comes here with the hopes and dreams of a better future. Now, as you may have heard, the County of Ventura has unfortunately decided not to do anything when it comes to the horrors that have happened to a lot of families that live in Oxnard and Port Hueneme and in this area. In my daily life, I see and hear from my personal family members' experiences, and when I go to work, I hear more. The impact is dense, the impact is here in both of our cities, which is why I come here today as a resident of Port Hueneme to ask you to do more. Our county has decided not to. Thank you for adding here and agendizing this conversation of this letter of support. But now, knowing where our reality is, I think our city of Port Hueneme needs to do what we can as a city, whether it be, as folks have mentioned, setting aside funding for legal support for impacted families, and or holding these trainings within the city of Port Hueneme ourselves and here as a city. If the county chose not to, what reason is there for the city of Port Hueneme not to? I think here today you have a choice to do more, whether it be training staff, whether it be doing more trainings, assist with community on safety. But more importantly than anything, families need legal support. They need legal funding for this. And having that, you as the city of Port Hueneme to open up this conversation and to talk through this more to see how possible this is, would mean a lot for a lot of your residents, as well as for so many families who have these hopes and dreams. So I come here to ask you, please do more than our county did and open up this conversation. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, council and the public. Thank you so much for agendizing this item. My name is Susana Canales Barron, and I'm a volunteer organizer with 805 Immigrant Coalition. My family is from Zacatecas. The U.S. has pretty much said it is a do not travel state because of the crime that has been documented. Yet, when there have been people from Zacatecas seeking asylum in the U.S., it is nearly impossible. And that I just share that to show that these immigration policies are nonsensical. There is no path forward, which is why we really rely on local leaders such as yourself to really hold the hands of the community members that are not asking for a handout, but actually contribute to this community. This is not charity. And I say that from experience because my parents were undocumented. We had such a difficult time. It was horrific things that we experienced as a family. I myself dropped out of high school. But with the support of the city that I lived in at the time, I was actually able to get my GED, go to community college, graduate summa cum laude from UC Davis, and get a master's at Stanford. And I will dedicate the rest of my life to bring my community here with me, the community that is too afraid to stand here. We submitted a letter to the Board of Supervisors in Ventura County, almost, if I remember correctly, it was more than 500 signatures that were speaking in a unified voice. Please, leaders of our community, support us the way that we have supported you. We were so disappointed at the outcome of that meeting, which is why we come here to you, because we have faith that you are going to look within your hearts to help the community that makes Port Hueneme so beautiful. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And then we have one written public comment, Mayor. This is from Jeffrey Scarberry. I'm requesting clarification regarding the public comment on this item by Councilmember Hernandez at the August 26th County Board of Supervisors meeting. Speaking to a large audience, she stated, quote, on August 16th, the Port Hueneme City Council voted to support our immigrant communities through the establishment of a county immigration legal defense fund, an immigrant defense unit, and migrant education program. In the interest of transparency, please explain how the council vote was initiated and conducted on a Saturday and what the results of the vote were. The letter sent by City Manager Vega included in tonight's agenda packet does not mention a vote, but rather references the city's legislative platform as a basis for supporting the proposed items at issue. I would also note that some of the general positions reflected in the legislative platform are subject to interpretation as to their application in certain specific circumstances. Thank you, and thanks to our city clerk, Georgiana Alvarez. And that concludes public comment.
Great, thank you. All righty, let's see where we are. Okay, so we have before us, did I ask you if you all had any questions? Okay, do you all have any questions? Any questions at all? Go right ahead.
Yeah. Well, I did ask a question about use of the community benefit fund, so we did have an opportunity to ask questions.
Okay.
But I have another one now that we're getting ready to move toward a motion, and that is where it says here in the recommendation to direct staff to coordinate with the County of Ventura with training and informational materials. Is this training and informational materials intended for our residents, for the public, and our employees? Or is it for just the public?
Yeah, so our intent with that is seeing if, based on their motion of their, and what got approved at their meeting, is seeing if we can get the same information and if we can sort of pool resources. And our hope is that there's both training and training materials for internally for staff, and then also informational materials that we could also share with the public as well. So we're hoping that there's both of those things, but I think they approved it, what was that, a week ago? And I don't know that they have developed it yet.
Right.
So it'll be sort of an ongoing authorization for us to get that information and share that information.
Okay. So just for clarity purposes, would the employee training include processes and procedures for dealing with ICE should they show up here at City Hall or any of our city facilities?
That's our understanding, because
Okay.
it's based on what the county also approved.
I think that would be great if we could do that. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so Moore Park, Camarillo, some of the cities, they received, they had a guest come in and present, and was an immigration lawyer. And they put out actually really good stuff and for the residents of those cities. Ideally, that's what I'm thinking that's what we're gonna do as well.
That's not in this motion. It's something that the council could consider.
Okay.
But I think if we're talking about training, that could be conceivably considered training, could it not? We invited
I think what's being referred to is like the public workshop that Moore Park did. And so that, when we drafted this item, because again, we drafted this before it went to vote, our understanding was that may be something that the county was going to try to put on. And for a lot of reasons, that makes sense, right? Like it's consistent information across the county. It's also the fact that the county actually operates a lot of these things, like public defender's office, versus each city just going out and asking like a random member of the public to give a presentation, you know, essentially. So we were trying to coordinate with the county. I don't know that that got approved for the county to do that. So if it is, and we can kind of tie that in with the training and informational materials, I don't know that they approved it, and so we weren't specifically referring to that.
perhaps it could be an agenda request?
Yeah. Okay, so are there any other questions? Okay, so we have 3 items, and I'd like to take them individually, if you all don't mind. You all okay with that? Let me read the recommendations first. So we have before us recommendation to determine whether to endorse issuance of the letter of support to the Ventura County Board of Supervisors and to provide directions on related matters, including whether to endorse Ventura County Community Coalition of Ventura County. Let me just read it the way it is, and then we'll throw coalition in there where it belongs. Ventura County Community Foundation's Ventura County Neighbor Support Coalition. Thank you. And whether to direct staff to coordinate with the county of Ventura with training and information materials. Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so now we'll move to discussion. Is there any discussion? Go ahead, Councilmember Gama.
Yeah, I get frustrated, and I really appreciate the speakers that hung in this meeting and spoke with us just now. And I heard the nonsensical immigration policy, and I think we all could agree that we have nonsensical immigration policy right now, and I don't see any effort to fix it. And so I hope that all this can lead to that, and I think we really need to, because it to me, as the offspring of immigrant farm family, the whole 9 yards, as we all know, I hope that at some point the risk of coming here illegally could be eliminated. In other words, what would drive somebody to take on that risk? And if we could get a sensible immigration policy, and I think it should start from us. Like, hey, let's start pushing the buttons of our congressional leaders to fix the system that we all know is broken. And you know, and I applaud helping those that need help. Then at the same time, you know, we have a budget, the county has a budget, everybody has a budget. You know, the question is, you know, what can we do outside of you know, we're not building a budget right now. We've already done that. So, yeah, I feel like, I think we're at a beginning point where we all should start working together to fix what we know is broken. And I know for a city government, that's a big, heavy lift, but maybe we could start the conversation here tonight and start pushing up. Help us fix what we know is broken and then move on. So, anyways, that's all I wanted to say.
Is there anything else? Any other comments? Go right ahead.
Yeah, so just, I stated this before, we are a nation of immigrants. The economic decline we're already feeling. Not only are we seeing it in county revenue, but we're feeling it when you're walking around the city. People are not actively outside. You could see it at Bubbling Springs Park, night and day. So kids are not going to school. People are not going to the doctors, not going to the hospitals when they're injured. There's an erosion of trust with police. And someone who grew up in Oxnard in the 1980s, it took a huge effort by Oxnard PD for the residents to get comfortable with the police officers, and they had tremendous outreach programs, PAL. Fast forward to today, they're an integral part of our community, and we're seeing it erode like that. They don't know who the police officers are. They don't know what our ICE agents. There's many different agencies involved in these raids, and so you're seeing it. There's a lot of mistrust and a lot of uncertainty in the community, and it's very disheartening. Someone who I'm second generation American, but it just feels unfair. And again, we're here to support as best we can. I know we have our own financial issues, but again, 60% of our residents are Hispanic, Latino, and of that, there's probably 15, 20% who are undocked, who are supporting our local economy, working by putting food on our tables, providing services to us, and it's hard to look away. I won't look away. So I'm here to support this. I know it's retroactive. We did give it a nod for the vote today. So, yeah, my comment.
Okay, any other comments? So we're going to take these one at a time. There are three. So let's just start with the first one. Each one, I'll ask for a motion and a second, and we'll go to our clerk for a vote. So we'll take number one. Number one is so this is the ratification of the letter that we've already submitted that was in line with our legislative platform. And we're going to we're not going to ratify it from our legislative platform. This is the support from the Port Hueneme City Council. And so, so is there a motion and a second to support the previous letter submitted to the Board of Supervisors? And so in this case, it would be from the City Council.
So
I
moved.
move to approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a first and a second. Any discussion?
Yeah, I'd like to just discuss that I did represent myself at the Board of Supervisors meeting, but yes, I did misstate the date of our meeting. But I think the the comments, I think the gist of the comments was that this city does support the efforts that were being proposed that evening. And that we did so in spirit by providing an advance letter, which we're here tonight to ratify. So I think that's what the message was. The message also, and just to add to Mayor Pro Tem's comments, was that billions of dollars are going to be poured into immigration in the coming months, and the enforcement is going to become even more dire, and our communities are being affected dramatically. Lori and I work at Food Share, and we had an ice scare on Friday, and then we see the noticeable difference in attendance when we distribute food. So it's critical, it's a crisis, and unfortunately the county voted against the monetary recommendations, but for me, I see the money as important. It's an investment, it's mitigation against further damage that these enforcement measures are going to have on our community. So I hope down the road that we will, because of the billions of dollars that are being put forth for these immigration activities, we're going to see more in our community, and it's not going to go away. So when the time comes and we have an opportunity to look at our community benefit fund, I think we should allocate some funds towards the neighborhood coalition.
Okay, so let me just say what I have to say. So I want to be really clear. City Council had not voted on this item. So we can't say the City Council supports unless there is a vote, and there was not a vote. What we did is, because we have a legislative platform that speaks to areas that we support, not specifically this, but areas that we support, the safety of our residents, the support of our residents, because this item was in line with that. We wrote a letter that our city manager signed with my authorization that it was in line with our legislative platform.
The council did vote for that.
The council had not voted. We voted that we would add the item to today's agenda, not that we are in support of it.
But we agreed to the letter.
Okay, anyway, the letter was aligned to our legislative platform. The city council, up until today, has never voted on the letter. So just so that everybody is clear. And so today is the day that we're going to take a vote for the first time on the support letter for the Board of Supervisors. So, Councilmember Gama, did you have a comment?
Yes, I was able to watch the entire 2 meetings from the comfort of my bed recovering from knee surgery. And I was a little shocked, frankly, to see Councilmember Hernandez misstate the facts. And I think we need to be very careful of doing that. And I did notice that Mayor Lejeune was seated next to Councilmember Hernandez. And yes, you did say, I'm here as a representative, but then you said, I'm here to report that the City Council voted too. And that is absolutely not true. We may want it to be true, but to get up in front of a meeting and misstate facts, and I know we have policies and procedures for council members, but was it a mistake? Was it by design? But I just think we really, really, really have to manage ourselves and speak, speak the truth.
Okay, so I've already made a comment about it.
I
hope
appreciate your
everyone
comments.
heard that and that it's clear. Did you have something? Okay, everybody, you have something?
So just so we're crystal clear, and this is, during the last meeting, we did take a vote, and we, with our legislative platform, we supported the letter, is my understanding and if we have to go back to the transcripts, we will, but we did support it.
It was on agenda setting. That's
Okay.
what-
Yeah, okay. So I'll just say this, and then we're going to move on. We did not vote that it was going to be on legislative platform because the city manager contacted me after the meeting and said that, hey, I didn't plan to do this, but because it's in alignment with our legislative platform, I think it's okay to do this letter. So it was after the fact. So what we voted on was to have it on.
If I could say something, please.
Okay, so are you clarifying what we're talking about now?
Yes, absolutely, because
So
you
let me say this. So hold on just a minute. City manager, is it how I just described it?
Yeah, and it's because of the Brown Act. So that night, we had members of the public speak, but we could not vote on it that night legally. So what the council did do was voted to put it on this agenda.
That's correct.
So that's where, and then, so tonight, the council is being asked to ratify it because the vote already happened at the Board of Supervisors.
That is correct.
So my point, if I may, Mayor,
Go.
is that you can see that there was a lot of confusion about what happened at that meeting. And even at the beginning of the city manager's comments that, this is something very different that we've not done before. So naturally, there's going to be some understanding. I think it's inconsequential at this point to belabor this, and I did admit that I did make a few mistakes, but I don't think it's to the level that we need to spend this amount of time discussing.
Okay,
So
great.
let's just move
So
on.
We're going to move on, but please hear what I just communicated. I'm very clear about what I'm saying, so we're going to take this for the first time right now. So the first action is to endorse or ratify the issuance of the letter in support of the Ventura County Board of Supervisors. This will be the vote of the city council support. I think that I heard that there is a motion and a second.
Can I ask clarifying? So we have 3 items we're going to vote on.
Yes.
And are they on the last page of page 17?
They're under the recommendation on page 1.
And they're separated.
It's
right
just
under the-
basically, yeah, every time you see the word weather, that's a different item, sort of item 1, 2, and 3.
Where it says recommendations, if you read that paragraph, all 3 of them are in there.
Okay,
Okay?
thank you.
So we have a motion and a second, and so Madam Clerk, please take a vote.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We'll move on to item number 2. Let's see. This is related to the matter of endorsing the Ventura County Community Foundation, Ventura County Neighbors Support Coalition. This is the words aren't here like I would like to, but is there a motion and a second to endorse the Ventura County Community Foundation, Ventura County Neighbors Support Coalition in support of this effort?
So moved.
moved. Second.
So moved, second. Any
Got 3.
discussion? Any discussion? Madam Clerk, can we get a vote, please?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
And the final item is to coordinate with the County of Ventura with training and informational materials that then we could use in the city. And I would say, City Manager, based on what you said, there will be, if we were to get the material, there would have to be some other dialogue to ensure that it covers the areas that we intend for it to cover. Is that the case?
Yeah, I think we will keep everybody updated of what we are able to do, and then there can always be a future conversation based on needs.
Great, thank you. So the motion is on the floor. Is there a motion and a second to coordinate with the Ventura County, County of Ventura for the training informational materials?
So moved.
I wanted to make sure that, did your question address the employee process and procedures portion of that?
Yes, it
Okay,
did.
okay, very
Yes.
good. Then I second.
Okay. Any other discussion? Madam Clerk?
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Great, thank you. Thanks, everyone. We are going to move on to city manager comments and reports.
Thank you. I have a couple of quick items. we wanted to highlight a couple of upcoming events or opportunities for information for our community. And so first, we'll start with the announcement that somehow we are almost in October of 2025, which is the start of the Clean Power Alliance launching in Port Hueneme. And so we've been sharing information on that over the last couple months and bringing in the Clean Power Alliance to some of the events and workshops and trying to get the word out to people about the new options that will provide and the new opportunities that provides. We have one more community meeting that we had partnered with Clean Power Alliance to coordinate, and the Clean Power Alliance representatives will be attending the Hueneme Bay Clubhouse on September 9th, 2025 at 6 p.m. and providing information to residents about the Clean Power Alliance and how it works and what the options are. And so everybody's invited to that meeting, and again, we'll continue to have information on our websites, Facebook pages, et cetera, to try to help people find out more. So, and then shortly after that, we have Coastal Cleanup Day coming up, the 2025 Coastal Cleanup Day on Saturday, September 21st, 2025, starting at 9 a.m. We meet at the Alaska Flight 261 Memorial and coordinate a cleanup event. Over the last several years, we've collected thousands of pounds of items from the beach. So we're looking forward to doing it again this year, and want to invite the community to come out on that to that event. So, we wanted to just highlight this. This was a new program that our recreation department launched, and we heard really positive reviews, and we wanted to highlight it, and then encourage people to keep an eye out for the next one. But on August 13th, we hosted for the first time with partnering with Real Guppies to host Fishing Adventure Day at the Port Hueneme Pier. We had over 20 kids and their families come out to learn how to fish and catch other things, such as clams and crabs. I know that Real Guppies is constantly doing these things. For us, it was exciting. It was sort of the first time we got to partner with them to do it as a recreational program. So we look forward to partnering with them on another Fishing Adventures Day, and we'll make sure people know when that becomes available. Two more upcoming recreation events: movie night at Bolker Park, Saturday, September 20th, 8 p.m. I think earlier I said Saturday, September 21st, but it's September 20th. So Saturday, September 20th at 8 p.m. that we'll be showing Mufasa at Bolker Park at 8 p.m. with free popcorn while supplies last. The movie's going to be on the grass, so bring blankets or chairs to come check it out. And then this one has grown to be a really popular one, and so we wanted to let people know it's coming back. Touch a Truck is back on Saturday, October 11th from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. It's a free event where kids can come out and see, touch, and learn about their favorite trucks or vehicles, and it's also started to have arts and crafts, food trucks, music, and more. So with free parking in lots A and B, so we're inviting everybody to come out for Touch a Truck again this year. And then last, looking ahead to our next agenda, September 15th, we'll have two presentations scheduled. Gold Coast Transit District has asked to come and provide an annual update. And earlier this year, the council had agreed to do several events honoring items, and one of those was National Hispanic Heritage Month, so we'll have that as well. Consent calendar, we expect to have an item to award a contract for our pier assessment, as we have to get the pier assessed and some repairs done to the pier this year. And then we'll have business items that include, our Public Works team will be providing a streets maintenance analysis with cost estimates. We have our Cal Cities annual voting delegate item for the council to approve a delegate to vote at the Cal Cities conference. We'll be providing the port revenue sharing report that we had, council had approved. We moved to a new template on the port revenue sharing report, and we will be bringing it to council to sort of show what that looks like and move that forward. And then right now, we currently have scheduled, a few months back, there was a council discussion about some questions about the port agreement, and there were some questions for the city attorney's office to return to council with some information on, so we'll be bringing back the city attorney's response to those questions as well. So those are the items currently scheduled for September 15th.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Perez, do you have anything to report?
No.
Councilmember Gama?
Are we on questions
Go,
or?
go right ahead. Comments or reports?
Oh, no.
No. You have anything?
I did, now I can't find that. Tomorrow Thursday I'll be downtown LA attending the transportation and policy, regional policy meetings for SCAG, and then in the afternoon we have CPA meeting. I went to the military honor military night a couple of weeks ago. RDP had their annual dinner. Both Mayor and I were there. Let's see, I think that's all. I had some others, but I guess they're not really that important, so that's all I have.
Mayor Pro Tem?
I attended one meeting, the Economic Development Collaborative. Just a couple ideas that were thrown around, and seeing how Port Hueneme could be benefited. So I'll continue working with the city manager.
Great, thank you. Couple of things. I attended the World Oceans Day, which was the 19th of August, and Councilmember Hernandez also attended that, hosted by the port. Also attended and I think that's what you were talking about, the military mixer. Yeah, that was also, it was the military appreciation mixer. And it was a really nice turnout. I was able to throw together a nice swag bag, a city swag bag, and so it was really nice to see all the military folks there, and the prizes that were door prizes that were given away only went to military and veterans, so it was really nice to see all the military be appreciated. I am starting my meetings this week. I'm here tonight. I'll be at a meeting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so I'm spending all my time reading agenda packets, so not excited about that, but got to be done. So yeah, and back to, I did want to share just a couple of things. So we did have the city port meeting. That was the August 27th, and just wanted to share a couple of items. The Washington, D.C. lobbying trip has been pushed back to 2026. And the dredging update, we will be having dredging. Is that going to be in October?
Yeah, I think that's a good one that I know we get questions about. So we had Harbor Director Michael Tripp at the meeting, and he confirmed that they expect the dredge to resume in October on that mid-year or mid-cycle dredge, and then to come back the following year and still stay on the regular cycle. So that was good news.
Yeah. And another item is we haven't gotten to discuss the Community Benefit Fund projects just yet. So we'll report back when we get there. And then I think that's it. So any oh by the ways? No? No? Okay. Well, let's move on to requests for future agenda. Let me just say, I'd like to adjourn the meeting tonight in the name of our housing authority. Robert Blackwell. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and move to requests for future agenda items. Councilmember Perez?
Nope.
Councilmember Gama?
Not tonight, thank
Not
you.
tonight? Anything?
I have one request for a future agenda item. I want to review the landscape ordinance. Make changes.
Mm-hmm. I had something that I wanted to request, but I can't think about what it is right now, so I'll try it next time. Anything else? No?
Vote on the
Is there a
landscape
second?
ordinance.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a second for his motion to add the landscape?
Second.
Okay. City Clerk?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, motion passes unanimously.
Great, thank you. Give me 1 second. Let me see if that'll come back to me really quick. No, it doesn't seem like it is. Okay, if there's nothing else, we're going to adjourn tonight's meeting. It is now 9:04 in the name of Robert Blackwell. And next meeting is scheduled for September 15th at 6:30. Meeting is now adjourned.